Morning, campers. Well, it's a day when I want to talk about unemployment. And does the Labour Party realise the party of the working man who was coming in to protect the working classes, not going to hit them with anything, realise it is on the cusp of a mass extinction event? I doubt whether they've even looked at the details or could do the maths, but I'll help them along with a little bit of analysis from here. I was with my lawyers in London recently, and there was a very nice paralegal there. There was a very nice junior trainee lawyer who'd just done her law degree, and there was the super duper top of the range partner sitting alongside me. To become partner, you have to do the grunt work down lower in the organisation, of course. That's part of your journey for your career. And as I was discussing with them, what do we do in the world of AI when already AI is reputed to have an IQ of 120, better than most of us on the planet, and will have an IQ of about 140 easily, and that's in every subject on Earth, by 2030. I mean, this is going to be bigger than the Industrial Revolution or anything else you could imagine. For so many jobs, and there's a lot of jobs which are going to disappear. So there is a big unemployment problem heading our way. But don't worry, you can't replace the shop assistant so easily if people still want to do physical shopping on the high street. And you still need a human being to demonstrate a motor car in a showroom, and so on and so forth. And you need somebody behind a bar to serve you a beer and a sandwich and a packet of crisps, you'd think. However, the Sunday Times today reports that Next, who employ 8,000 people across the country, are going to bring forward, accelerate and expand their store closure program because of the national insurance changes brought in the budget a few weeks ago, whereby the national insurance threshold is reduced at the point at which employers have to start paying it, and the rate has gone up. So a double whammy. And so those shop assistants, which can't be replaced by AI for physical shopping, are going to lose their jobs anyway, some of them. And Next won't be the only one taking that action. Well done, Rachel. You really did study economics, didn't you? And then moving on to a subject I touched on in a previous episode about farm industry, and I've learned a bit more about that. So the majority of the really big equipment that farmers used is imported from Europe, but a lot of smaller trucks, trailers, and that kind of stuff, reapers that farmers use, is manufactured here in the UK. And those UK manufacturers have become more dependent on the UK market since Brexit, because exporting these bits of kit has become too costly and complicated for them as small manufacturers to really be able to deal with. So they become very dependent on the home market. So the collapse in the sales of farming capital equipment since the budget is not only affecting tractor sales and therefore the salesmen of imported tractors, but it is also affecting the sales of all sorts of other farm equipment. And of course, if the UK manufacturers of these smaller bits of capital equipment become non-viable, their people will be made redundant as well. So I predict a nice number of, horrendous number, I really mean, of unemployment hitting the manufacturing sector as a result of that. And when the government says, oh, well, that's due to Brexit. No, it's not due to Brexit. It's due to your idiotic policies. And this is a problem that they will then start blaming everything on somebody else rather than their own decisions, which they can't row back from, of course. But the really interesting one is on the teachers. And I spoke in an earlier episode about the VAT effect on private schools. So again, I've done some more research onto this. There are, you might be interested to know, 74,000 teachers estimated across 2,600 independent schools. It is estimated that the VAT increase will provide the opportunity to hire 6,500 new teachers. So think about that. They're going to hire 6,500, so they say, new teachers. But if you also follow the government's projection that up to 20% of schools are going to close as a result of this, that means that it is going to be, what's 260 times 2? I didn't do the maths before I come on air. There we are. 520 schools will close, and 520 schools, if you were to say that the teachers are spread evenly, which is probably the only way we can do it, means that 15,200 teachers are going to lose their jobs. And of those 15,200 teachers, the good news is that 6,500 of them are going to be taken up by the state system, which leaves 8,700 out of a job, along with the retail sector casualties, along with the hospitality sector casualties, along with the farming sector casualties. You really couldn't make it up. Incredible. So the very people are going to hit are the poorer members of society on lower wages. But don't worry, because the national minimum wage has gone up for the few who remain in a job. So that's going to be lovely, isn't it? What are these people on? They're bonkers. And the trouble is that this damage they're going to do is never ending, really, because it takes a long time to reverse what they're up to, and they're not going to reverse it. You're going to have to wait till whatever government comes in next if they've got the chutzpah to do anything about it. So, do you see that? Mr. Right. And on this subject, I'm Mr. Always Right, because it's ridiculous. They just don't understand basic economics. You couldn't make it up. And I get the point that we've got to raise tax from somewhere, but the measures they've taken are the worst for the working man. You might as well have hit the people broadly across the whole country with a tax increase on their income tax, which would have spread the load across the whole country, instead of which you're going to make a lot of people unemployed. Not a good idea. This inquiring cat could scratch your eyes out. Anyway, until next time, toodaloo.